I now call the Hampton County Council meeting to order for August 11th, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening to attend our county council meeting. With that being said, the next item on the agenda is the invocation, which will be given by Councilman Jinks, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by myself in unison with the public. So if everyone would please stand if you can. If
we'll bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we once again humbly come to you asking you for your guidance, your wisdom, your strength. We ask you to give us the strength and the wisdom as a council to make the right decisions to lead this county forward. We ask you to give us the ability to agree to disagree. We ask you to cover all families of this county. We ask you to protect this county as much as possible, for we going through some rough times, but we are seeing ourselves straight, thanks to you, Lord. We also ask you to touch our leadership, our administrative staff, our law enforcement division, and the rest of the staff to make wise decisions to do right for the people. All these blessings we ask in your son Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. If you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Our next item on the agenda, item number 3, the approval of the agenda. This is for Hampton County Council, August 11, 2025 meeting agenda. What's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Hampton County Council agenda for August 11, 2025.
A motion has been made and has been properly second. Question? There being no question, all those who are in approval of the Hampton County Council August 11, 2025 meeting agenda, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? We're now on item number 4, approval of minutes. In your packet, you had the meeting minutes from July 21st, 2025, Hampton County Council meeting. What is the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we approve the minutes of July 21st, 2025, Hampton County Council.
Second.
A motion has been made, has been properly second. Any discussion? If none, all those who are in approval of the meeting minutes from July 21st, 2025, Hampton County Council meeting, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? We're now on item number 5, presentations. Presentations is a maximum of 10 minutes. 5.1, Patricia Moore. Is she here? Mm-hmm. Yes. Good evening.
Good evening to the county council and to all those that are here from the public. Thank you for taking this opportunity to allow me to share with you some concerns I have about the procedures for handling property deeds from a delinquent tax sale. I first want to clarify that my reason for addressing the council tonight is not for ill will toward anyone, nor do I wish to cause trouble or jeopardize anyone's employment, but I am raising an issue that is not an isolated incident, but a systemic problem. Addressing it will require that current systems, protocols, or procedures be either consistently applied or redesigned to eliminate the ongoing issues that are affecting me and other Hampton County residents. I'd like to remind you, first of all, of the documents that I submitted to you previously I gave you a copy of a property purchase record showing that the property was purchased on December the 4th, 2023. Then I gave you a list of emails. The first one was dated February the 25th, 2025. In that email, I detailed that I had visited the office during the week of December 13, 2024, the properties that I had purchased, that the redemption period had now been expired by more than 90 days, and that my concern about inconsistent tax sale procedures, specifically when I questioned whether the property I bidded on had been redeemed or not because the period for redemption had already passed, I was told that I could not be given that information. However, I have other family members and friends who also purchased during that same tax sale, and though they were not reimbursed their monies, they were told the status of their bids. I have an email dated March the 17th, and I did receive a response that same day. An email dated June 24th, 2025. All of these are 2025, by the way. I asked for an update. I did not receive an email. I sent another email on July 1st, 2025, saying I was inquiring about emails dated March 17th and June 24th because I had not received a response. And I did receive a response on July the 2nd explaining the situation. My concern is personal, but as I mentioned earlier, it points to a broader systemic situation. People in Hampton County are investing money to buy properties after the original owners have failed to pay their taxes on time. And this money that they're buying it with could have been placed in an interest-bearing account. And so when we look at the lengthy wait that's involved in obtaining the deed for this property, whenever you look at this, you cannot, during this time, get insurance or make any necessary repairs to the property if the person has not redeemed it, if the time has already elapsed. Without the deed, you have no legal protection or control over the property, which may already be suffering from problems like roof leaks or other structural damages that only worsen over time and continue to reduce the value of the property. The property is also at risk of vandalism or fire, and without the ownership documentation, as I said earlier, there's no way to recoup your money if something happens. And finally, the property is continuing to deteriorate and becoming an eyesore, which negates what we call the Hampton County beautification plan, trying to make the county beautiful, but when we have these places that nobody can do anything with because of the length of not receiving a deed, then it's just becoming worse and worse, and it's an eyesore for the community. Ultimately, due to these apparent delays in this process, the investor loses out both financially and also it's a loss to the community because, again, you have an eyesore. At the last meeting on July the 11th, I presented 3 questions that I wanted you to answer. The first one concerned processes and protocols. I asked you at that time to consider and to give me an answer for what are the procedures for transferring deeds to new owners once the delinquent tax sale redemption period has ended, and I asked you to include expected time frames. The second question I asked was about non-compliance. What happens or what should happen when the policies or procedures, if they are in place, are not being followed? And finally, communication. How long should it take for county personnel to respond to an email, whether it's just an acknowledgement that I've received your email and I've got to look into it further and I'll get back to you, or if there's a definitive answer already on the table that you can give about the issue being addressed. Again, the property that I'm questioning, I have another one too, but this one in particular was purchased on December the 4th, 2023. The previous owner had until December the 5th, 2024 to redeem it. Today marks 616 days since I made that purchase and 249 days beyond the redemption period that we say is allowed. Yet to today, I have no information as to the status of that property that I bidded on. So I just want to know, how do we go from this point and what do we do? Because as a resident of Hampton County, I feel like we should have some procedures and we should know what those procedures are. They should not be a mystery as to how we handle it and what we do when we're talking about taxes and all that and somebody's paying the taxes.
Mrs. Moore, I appreciate you coming before us because I know that at our council meeting, so 3 questions for us to get back with you. Did you get your answers to those 3 questions?
Excuse me?
I said, did you get your answers to the 3 questions?
Not one. Nobody has responded.
Okay, Mr. Humans, is there any way that we could respond to her?
Yes, actually, the tax collector is here this evening to share steps to mitigating her concerns. If she could speak.
Okay, all right. Miss Moore, if you have a seat, and we may ask you to come back up, you know, if you want to say anything afterwards. It's,
Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
Delia Smith, the Hampton County Tax Collector. And some of the questions that has been asked is that the the owner has 365 days to redeem their property. And at that time, that's when the procedure for getting the deeds done begins. It starts at, we have a young lady in our office who is the title searcher, and she's also the levy officer. The levy officer is the person that goes out and posts the properties. So at this time, usually during the summer, she's out posting properties. So there is no research being done at that time. And when she comes in from doing that, then we start the research and I start doing the deeds. Also, we only have, we have 3 people in our office. One, myself, the tax collector. I have a deputy clerk, and I have Miss Vaughn, who is my title searcher. And so while she's title searching, she's not able to be in the office collecting taxes or anything like that. So that's the process of what we do in the office. And when the deeds get done, then I contact the bidders and let them know that the deed is done. Also, we are required by law, if a deed has been done before 1978, we have to go back to the assessor's office and they have to redo their deed, giving us the update of the meets and bounds of this property. So that takes a while. And then then that's when the deed process begins, because we have to redo all of this stuff to get the deed corrected. So that's basically what takes most of the time, getting the deeds done, because we have to do so many things to get it corrected, because if it's not correct, then we can't pass the deed on.
anyone have any questions from council?
Question.
Go ahead, Councilman Jinks.
You saying that we have deeds on file that was filed before 1978.
Yes.
What would be the process to update our deed system?
That's done through the, oh Lord, I can't talk, but that's done through the, assessor's office. And so they have all the deeds in there. We also have books in another room from the 1800s, because I did have a deed that I had to pass, and it was done before Hampton County was a county. So that took me about a year to get that done, because we had to go back into the old books before Hampton County was a county. And so therefore, it's not an easy thing to do, because sometimes we have to search the books. We go to the clerk of court's office, and we have to go back to the assessor's office to get all this done. And that process does not start until after the end of the redemption period, which is a year and a day.
Mr. Yeoman, if I'm not mistaken, there's a statewide issue dealing with tax assessors because they're retiring out and becoming independent consultants, correct?
There is a statewide shortage of assessors. Yes, it is. Well, assessors aging into retirement and no means of apprentices are behind them to be assessors. But there are programs that are being discussed to create apprenticeship programs that could support assessor certifications in local counties. And that is being discussed. And actually, we had a meeting about it today. But it is a problem that's known throughout the state, and small rural counties are working through those issues.
I asked you the question because I wanted to be known. Some of our citizens have problems with consulting firms. Sometimes we have no other choice but to use them. And in this case, I'm afraid that we're going to have to use one until we can get an assessor, an apprentice. Am I correct?
We've actually partnered with a local county, an assessor with the local county who helps us out behind the scenes. We had that person come on board for about a month or two ago, but we are working through the needs in the assessor's office to address those issues, but we're also actively recruiting and looking for an assessor or sharing the responsibility of assessor with other smaller municipalities.
No one situation is bigger than the other. But we have several complaints on what's going on between the tax collector and assessor's office. Do we have a to-do list to prioritize the people that's making these complaints?
We do, and we're working through that, but I wanted Ms. Smith to speak tonight on her behalf to kind of bring that context in the room, but we will ensure that we respond to Ms. Moore to get her solution as soon as possible. So I'll work with the team to see if we can get a date and time of where we can respond to her inquiry.
Chair, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman Thompson.
Does Mrs. Moore's property fall under all the restraints that you mentioned to us tonight?
Yes, and after researching that, we found that this property is done in the probate office. The young lady's name that's on the property is not the one that's controlling the property. She has someone else that's over her, and they're the ones that's over the property. So usually when we come into something like that, we have to give the bidder their money back because it's still in the probation, not clerk, I can't talk tonight, I'm sorry, y'all. But it's usually there in the probate office. And so this is where we've come with this property. This property, the young lady's name that's on it is not the actual owner. The person that's over her is the one that's taking care of the property.
Are we talking about a minor, or are we talking about someone that's has an income,
Someone that's,
disability or something?
yes,
Any,
Has that person been contacted
yes,
and no results?
none yet. But with it still being in probation, we can't do anything, we can't deed it.
So how many days has it totally been now? Has it been over the 365 days?
Yes,
Would it help to send a deputy?
no, because it's still, they're not in legal control of it. So just that person, until they get it straight in probate, there's nothing we can do with it, other than for me to give the bidder their money back.
So Ms. Shannon needs to get it straight.
But we've been dealing with her.
no? Any other questions from council?
So, so you're saying the only resolution right now is that you would provide Ms. Moore back her money?
Yes, because it's gonna take time till they get through the probation,
Or either she can just be patient and wait until the process plays out?
right?
Was this property advertised in the for anybody who had a vested interest in it?
Yes, sir. I have to advertise everything that I take the tax sale.
So did you receive any correspondence back from those
No,
workers?
sir.
So the only thing that's holding the property up, the transfer of the property, is that you don't have an opportunity to secure a clear title and deed for the property given to Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Do you have any anticipated time as to how long it may take to do that?
No, sir. Sometimes it takes a year. As long as it's going through probate, we don't have a specific time.
But it's already been more than 365 days, right?
Right. But it's in the probate, so I can't do anything with it until that part is cleared up.
I'm only understanding that when you do and I may be wrong, attorney, when it's advertised, the property is advertised as being property that's gonna be sold, and you don't have anyone responding back, you do have the 360, if you purchase it, you have the 365 days for that person to make a response or make an offer to buy it back, but that person has received whatever the interest rate is. I'm not sure what that is right now. But legally, why would probate continue to hold it up if it's been advertised and do you have an answer for that, attorney?
Not without looking at the detail of a particular event, no.
I like for you to look at that with the tax collector here to see what the issue is as to why I can't clear probate. Because normally it's a pretty clean process. I mean, I bought some property in my hometown.
I'll contact either Dave tomorrow,
Okay.
look into it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Last but not least, if she's refunded her money, does she still has first right of refusal when it clears to purchase it?
For her to get it, for her to get the property?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. She,
So, Mrs. Moore, you don't want the money back, you want the property, don't you?
Yes, I do, and I'd like to make a statement. I won't call the person's name, but the name that the deed that was sold at the tax sale is a deceased person. She was a former teacher of mine. I've been an administrator in Hampton County and a teacher for over 37 years. The person whose name is on here when I bought the property, I knew was deceased. I knew her background because she always told me she had no family or anything. She was adopted, came here from another area. So I've known her. She was at my school while I was a principal there for 8 years before she went to another school in Hampton County. So I know that the name that it was sold under on the tax record is a deceased person.
Okay. Any further questions? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Right now, we gotta hang our coat on this rat. On the legal side,
I know, Tricia.
Yeah, right. So I made sure when I bid it on it, because I knew the person, she had been in my employment for 7 years and while I was a school principal. So I knew she was deceased, knew she didn't have a husband or anything, so I knew, I said, okay, she's deceased, and I knew all that. But my other concern is this, though. I just feel like at a personnel level, as being a former administrator, we owe it to our constituents. If somebody emails you, and this is not Ms. Delia, because she did respond to my email. But there are others, when you send them an email, just common courtesy to say, hey, I don't have the answer yet, but I'm working on it. Contact me in a month or two, and I'll tell you what the status is. As a principal, I had 400 or 500 kids, but when a parent emailed me, even if I didn't know what was going on, I emailed them right back and said, listen, I will find out what's going on, because that made that parent know that I was concerned about their situation, because there's no excuse not to just drop an email and say, and I have to say again, Ms. Smith did email me back, so I'm not talking about her, she did email me back. I mean, it took 2 times, but she emailed me and told me what was going on. But I'm saying, as a whole in the county, if we want our constituents to be responsible citizens, we ought to be responsible personnel.
Mr. Jones, you make note of that comment?
Yeah.
sorry, say it again?
Can you make note of that comment, sir?
I am.
Okay, any further questions for our delinquent tax? Or, if not, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll resolve this here pretty soon. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dahlia.
We're now on item number 5.2, Ann Claywood with Low Country Legal Volunteers. Good evening again.
Hi, so honored to be here. I'm here with Dr. Arlene Dunbar. I'm Ann Kaywood. I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Low Country Legal Volunteers. We're a free legal service. We've been serving Hampton County for 25 years, but we're doing so now in a much more meaningful way, actually looking for a physical office space and presence here to serve more folks, make ourselves more accessible with the free legal services. Like I said, I'm honored here to be with Dr. Arlene Dunbar. She is our community ambassador among all the things that she does to serve this local community. I did want to share a bit about legal volunteers just so everyone in the community knows the services that we're able to provide for free. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Low Country Legal Volunteers, just talking a little bit about who we are. Wanted to share with you, we're a volunteer-based organization. Our main offices are inside the solicitor's office in Okatee, and then we have an office location in Beaufort on Ladies Island Drive. It's part of the Low Country Outreach Center. As I said, we are steadfastly looking to partner with a local agency so we can kind of embed ourselves and be there at least once a week with an attorney who can serve local folks that happen to be lower income. Again, 25 years in service, we're celebrating it in 2025. So that was the impetus for us to really start moving forward, and we got some wonderful grants and partnerships to expand what we call our medical legal partnerships with local free clinics and the Hampton Regional Medical Center. So we're super excited for that. Again, we've got a small staff, which we've been able to add Dr. Dunbar to, who's been an integral person in this program that we're doing here specifically to Hampton County. We're volunteer-based, so we are looking for volunteers in Hampton County. Those folks can come from all walks of life. They can be retired attorneys, retired paralegals, retired school teachers, retired accountants, you name it. We need it all here in Hampton County. So we are looking for volunteers, and that's one of the things Dr. Dunbar has been very much focused on. So who do we serve? What is the income guidelines? Currently, the income guidelines of the folks that we're able to serve is 200% at or below the federal poverty guidelines, which covers a lot of folks in the Hampton area and across our service area of Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton. So our volunteers really do so much. Like I said, we have a small full-time staff, and then we have wonderful staff that work with us part-time to make the wheels go. But to have our volunteers doing legal drafting, having consultations with potential clients or existing clients really makes us able to do a huge volume of work for free. So what's our goal? When our founders started us some 25 years ago, it was restore order to the family. Because we know in family law cases, it's the children who suffer. So we get involved in custody cases, divorce cases, child support cases, but we don't just do any old divorces. It has to involve minor children, because the goal is to make their lives better and to restore that order that needs to go back in place. So a few of our service areas, I've mentioned some of them, would be divorce, child custody, restraining orders for domestic violence survivors and victims, parental visitation, Child support's a big one because that's an empowering tool for the parent that is raising that child, and it's also a connecting tool for the parent that is going to pay that child support. Studies have shown kids are more likely to go to college, they're more likely to have a better relationship with the parent that's paying child support. So many good benefits flow from that. We do birth certificate amendments, adult name changes, simple wills and healthcare powers of attorney, as well as housing protection, which would be eviction defense and unsafe housing. So many folks in our area live in unsafe housing that's really subpar and not safe for their family and might actually make them physically ill. So that's where we step in. So we have a ton of clinics coming up. I was very touched by the previous speaker. I think we both were. One of the things we do offer is pro se divorce clinics, which is for folks that have been separated 30 years, they have nothing left to fight about. We'll do a self-help guidance for them. We have one coming up next week. We'd like to do more of those here at our physical location that we're working on, or the courthouse, because there's so many folks that really need that cleaned up for all types of issues. Wills clinics very much spoke to my heart with the previous speaker. We want to do prevention work, right? So we want to do all the prevention work. Anyone over the age of 18 needs a will. We do those for free. So if folks qualify on income, we're able to serve them, provide that will, as well as the healthcare power of attorney, which really lets their loved ones also know their wishes should they have to have a surgery or get in a car wreck, be incapacitated for a little bit of time. It's super beneficial to have those documents in place. We recently got an amazing grant through the Federal Home Loan Bank and Community Foundation of the Lowcountry to do 225 wills across our service area of Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton. So let me tell you, Dr. Dunbar has been hard at work. We're trying to coordinate those into this year and into the next year. So we're very excited about that. And of course, we still do clinics on knowing your rights, from everything from family law to eviction defense. Do we want people to be empowered and have that knowledge? So our medical legal partnerships, we got some beautiful, awesome medical legal partnerships. We have the exciting news of we're going to do an information session with the Hampton Medical Regional Center August 25th. It's a free legal information center. We're so excited. Lori and Russell Schwartz are helping hand out some information about that, but it's going to be very meaningful so folks know the free legal services that they have right here in Hampton County and that we're there for them. So we're proud to partner with them. We're also working on partnering with Beaufort Jasper Hampton Comprehensive Health here in Hampton and across Hampton County, because we believe their patients are our people too. So we want to serve those folks in a better, more meaningful way. And again, I've talked about our housing protection program. Last year in 2024, we closed 150 cases, had 27 clinics. We got $180,000 in child support for local families and provided the legal equivalent value of $2.95 million into the local community of free legal services. Impacted 2,200 people. As of July, we closed 152 cases. And that is in no small part to this lady right here, Dr. Dunbar, and other volunteers here in this community, Jasper County and Beaufort counties, so we can serve more people and reach more people that let them know they can trust us. We want to break down those barriers of transportation, access, all those barriers, and it's working. So thank you for supporting us. I know we were just here a little bit earlier, but now we have so much more to tell you, so we're very excited for that. So how can you get involved? You can volunteer, you can donate, you can spread the word about everything we have going on, things coming up. We would be honored if you would do that. And that's just a little bit about us. Another thing we do have going on is our Justice Navigator Clinic. What is Justice Navigation? What the heck does that mean? I've got to tell you, it's very timely here tonight hearing that previous individual speak, because we are doing justice navigation training to train folks on all the laws across the state of South Carolina. Not only all the laws, but all the resources. There are so many free legal resources. There's Low Country Legal Volunteers, there's South Carolina Legal Services, there's the Center for Heirs Property, and other folks that are able to help folks for free or a lower cost. And we want to get that word out, and we want to get that information in your hands. We want to get that information in the community's hands. So Dr. Dunbar and I scheduled our first Justice Navigator clinic for September 16th at the Stanley Arts Center. We will have another one scheduled in September at the Hampton Library, but there's so much more to come. But I want to stop talking now and let Dr. Dunbar speak.
Thank you. And on behalf of Hampton County, I stand strong and proud of Hampton County. I stand because I believe in Low Country Legal Volunteers and what they're doing, what I've seen them done. And I started in April 1st is when I started, and I've seen tremendous things happen. I just say trust the system, trust the process, and we'll make sure, because I'm Hampton County, and I'm proud of Hampton County, and I always say what the superintendent said, don't let nobody else tell our story about Hampton County. We'll tell our own story about what we're doing in Hampton County. So we thank you for this opportunity and time.
Well, thank you very much for both of y'all. I think what I'm hearing is a tremendous amount of work and good things have come out of it, and looking forward to hearing back from you all again. Thank you. Yeah. We're now on item number 6 on public hearings. We have 3 public hearings. The first one, 6.1, public hearing regarding a tax anticipation note in the amount of not to exceed $1,800,000 and other matters relating thereto. So I now open up this session for the public hearing. The public. If there's no comment from the public, I now close this public hearing regarding a tax anticipation note in the amount of not to exceed $1,800,000 and other matters relating thereto. 6.2, revision or revisions to an ordinance for the Hampton County, South Carolina Opioid Recovery Funds Committee. I now open up this session for a public hearing. If none from the public, I now close this session. 6.3, an ordinance authorizing the settlement of dispute and the conveyancy of real property located in Hampton County, South Carolina to the Hampton County School District. I now open up this session for public hearing. Any comments from the public on this matter? If none, I now close this session. We're now on item number 7, public comments. Are there any public comments?
Mr. Charles Lafie.
Thank you.
Good evening.
A couple of comments, and it's more of a question than it is a comment. I would like to see financial records. We never discuss them at the meetings. At least maybe quarterly, get a quarterly update of the county's situation, the financial situation. Having been in the banking business, we had to do it every day, but we don't need to do it every day. Just enough to let us know how we stand, what we can do to help, so forth and so on. And I hope we're making progress like you said we were, but we have no way of knowing until we get the annual report. Of course, we just finished the year. Probably be 90 days or more before we get the end of the year statement. But thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lafitte. Thank you very much. Any other public comments? Public comments.
I guess he got his answer from Ms. Dahlia, so scratch him.
That's it, okay. We're now on item number 8, approve of items requiring council action. 8.1, commuter parking lot and food truck court. Anyone want to say anything on that before we move into a motion to be made on that? Anything need to be said on that?
Chris, you want to say anything, man?
Christopher Inglesi, Deputy County Administrator. Last time we had this on discussion item, and so I could just give a quick review. There's 2 items that have been discussed for several months now. The first one is a small project located at the corner of Bob Gifford and Yemassee Highway, Highway 68, at the entrance into the Regional Industrial Park. So the county owns some property. This image here, this is the southeast corner of the intersection of Bob Gifford and Highway 68. And the county owns the parcel there on the corner. And that's Lake Crusades parking lot across the street there. And here's the GIS map. And so what we're looking at doing, there's 3 components to this project. And it's a sign announcing the, a sign to announce the future home of the Hampton County Fire Station. So that sign would go up at the corner. There's a Frampton construction sign there now that would come down, and this would replace that sign. And then the second component would be a commuter parking lot. And I think you can kind of see it in this image. It's less than an acre that would need to be cleared. We could do that work in-house. We can fill it and gravel it, create a driveway across the street from the Lake Crusade driveway, and create a commuter parking lot. And the inspiration there is how to create economic development in commuter gathering spaces. So places where transportation hubs or trains meet, or where park and ride, or anywhere where there's gathering of cars and people for economic development. So the idea is to have a safe place for people to meet, and they could commute. If they're coming from east to west, they could meet here and could share, ride share into Varnville and Hampton. Or if they're traveling east, they can meet here and travel to Hardyville or Bluffton to go shopping, or to the beach, or wherever their destination is. And then the third component is a food truck court. So in that parking lot, in that less than an acre parking lot, there would be space to invite our local food truck vendors to have a presence, and we'd rotate them. And of course, we'd have to come back to council at some point in the future to decide what the policy is for deciding who would occupy that space. But a great way to support local business is, part of the Economic Development Commission's strategic plan to support small businesses, and this would be one way of executing on that strategic vision. So this is an example that was out of Hanahan. They basically took a cleared lot like this, and they created space for food trucks, and I think the rent, they're charging like $750 a space for the food trucks. So they'll fill this out with several food truck spaces. So that's this project, what we're calling the commuter parking lot and food truck court. We think we can do the work mostly in-house. There will be some costs associated with buying some fill and some gravel. We'll just start with a gravel parking lot. If you remember last time, we talked about sort of incrementally improving it. So do what we can today with what we can afford to do, get it set up, get it going. I think we can do that, most of that work in-house. There'll be some costs with the fill and the gravel, but we think we can pay for that outside of the general fund by timbering this circled area at Tiger Street and Highway 321, There's some valuable timber there that would yield, in my estimation, more than enough to cover the improvements to the commuter parking lot. So that's the commuter parking lot project in sum. And the next item on the agenda is the Tiger Street development. And it has 4 components to it. This is county-owned property, which is almost all in the town of Estill limits. And there's this kind of shows the components. This didn't show up very well here, but in your packet, you should be able to see the 4 components. It includes a dog park and playground. It includes workforce apartment homes, an RV park with amenities such as a fishing pond and a camp store. And the 4th component is a conservation/timber area that would incorporate trails, like walking trails or ATV trails, another amenity for the park, but also a perpetual source of revenue for the county by conserving an area for timber revenues in the future. And, you know, nice characteristic to keep, you know, it rural and in keeping with the character of Hampton County. So those are the 4 components of the Tiger Street development. It's where we are with that is that we identified a potential grant source to do a master plan, to really dive into the details, figure out how utilities would get to the site, the cost of getting the utilities to the site, parking for the campground, parking for the apartments, how big the park would be, you know, all the details so that you basically would have a development plan at the end of that. And so we have submitted for that grant, and it's originally, I think when I talked to you last time, we believed it was an 80-20 grant, but we were corrected. It's actually a 90-10 grant. And we're looking at the Parks and Recreation grants to see if we can't cover that match through Parks and Recreation because of the tourism and the trails and things that we think it aligns well with the Parks and Tourism grants. So that's where we're at with that, but didn't want to go any further until kind of had council's blessing to continue to go in. We'll continue to give updates, and obviously if we have to spend money, any of those expenditures would come to council. But we got far enough along where we really felt like, you know, council needed to weigh in and make sure we were headed in a good direction. And if not, then we need that direction as well from council.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions before we go into a
Just
vote?
gonna ask the South Carolina Energy Department, they have some grants available. I know we talked about doing some heat stations, and so there may be some other things that they can help us with
Yes, sir.
in regards to that. I mentioned that Mr. Yeoman, but I'm pretty sure y'all have been discussing it. They have a lot of grants, opportunities, and some free services
Yes, sir.
for doing assessments and those kind of things.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Councilman Williams.
How many acres does that Tiger Street development?
It's about 67 acres.
67?
66 and point something. Almost 67. 66 and a half. About that.
Not a bad idea, being that now water towers on that side over there.
So the Tiger Street is in Estill, on the southern part of the town limits. And then the commuter parking lot, that's only in 1 acre. The commuter parking lot's across from the water tower. That's a 1 acre parking lot. I think we estimated 40 to 50 cars in there.
How many food trucks you get in?
Well, I mean, the whole idea with the project is to kind of incrementally, you know, do a little bit at a time within the resources we have available. So right now the thought would be, you know, as many, you know, start out with 1, see how the customer base is, and then grow it from there. So, you know, we could have 1 on Friday and then start rotating and have Wednesday and Friday, and then hopefully it'd be, you know, I believe it'll be popular enough to have 5 trucks rotating in and out 5 days a week, maybe even 6 days a week. So, but the whole idea is to kind of start small and grow it and get you know, support and buy-in and make sure that there's a market for it. But you know, start small, start with 1, maybe get the electrical for the truck installed through one of those energy grants. and just grow it from there. I mean, how cool would it be to have like 5 trucks in there on a Saturday, or even on a Monday? You know, to have a variety of options for the workers in the industrial park. So, yeah, we start with one, but we grow it to as many as we can.
And I say that to say this, if we don't do it on the industrial side, tourism is the biggest thing. And water parks are bringing money. That's a good idea. Think about water parks.
Yes, sir.
On that side where all that 60-some acres at, it would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
If you got that big tower.
Yes, sir.
That's just my perception.
I love that.
Okay. That's all I have.
Especially after all that hot weather we just had. So.
With the Tiger Street project,
Yes, sir.
we are going to consider nature trails, ponds. You said, is the lots going to be available for just the people visiting that park? What's going to be the limitations of the campers?
So at least now, it would be open to the public. So the ATV trails, the walking trails would be open. It would
Right.
not be exclusive to the RV. Not, I mean, we could come up with the policies and figure that out, but exclusivity has never been part of the thought process to date. So it would always be open to. It's county property. It would be, you know, have a conservation easement on it. It would be county asset, and I think it would be appropriate for it to be open to the public.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it at all. But just our last heated conversation about campers, I need to know a little bit more about how we gonna handle the camper situation.
Yes, sir.
And us going into the rental business, rental lots for campers. I just need to know a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. Of course, anything ultimately, you know, how it's developed, there's a lot of questions about how to do it. Like, you know, do we bring on an investor? Do we bring on a management company? Do we sell the apartments fee simple so that there's a tax bill for each one? I mean, there's lots of questions about ultimately what it develops and looks like, and council will drive all those policy decisions, of course.
This area will have access to city works.
Yes, sir. So we've had one initial meeting with the town who would be the provider for sewer and water, and we've identified potentially a location to get sewer and water to the site, and of course we would be responsible for distributing it within the site. But they do have several hundred feet to lay pipe to get to us, and they're talking to engineers and looking at some funding opportunities to do that. So we're trying to calibrate our timelines so that they can work towards that goal of getting utilities to the site while we're working on the details and the plan and ultimately a development plan. So I would like to think they could get that done in 2 years, because that's when this whole planning process would hopefully wrap up, and we might be able to hit, put shovels in the ground and start seeing the site develop. But we'll see. We'll continue to work with them and they're a major stakeholder in this. They, they would get the ratepayers from the RV park as well as from the apartments. And they'd also have the asset of the park for their residents, for town residents to use as well. So they're a major stakeholder, so we continue to keep open communication with the town. But that's a key, the whole thing kind of is contingent on them getting sewer and water to the site. But we think it's feasible. We think it can be done pretty readily.
Well, we also should be able to talk to our representatives to get some money from the Park and Recreation.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to input the various types of, especially with the trail and the fishing pond.
Yes, sir.
All that together.
Sure. Having that master plan will help us go to our delegation and say, can you help us with this project and to other funding sources? So that'd be a giant leap in the process for sure to have that plan.
Also, I would like for you all to look into that deep well
Yes, sir.
system that's out there that was pumping water into those ponds.
Yes, sir.
That deep well system is very new. At least I can say that it only been used at least one time. And when I was with the Extension Service and we were doing something out there with tilapia and all, we had a new pump put in, commercial size pump. So it was brand new and only been used one time. So, you know, that been many, many, many years ago. So you need to see the condition of that pump, see if it's still operational.
That could come in very handy, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Any other question before we proceed with voting? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chris, thank you very much. What's the pleasure of council on 8.1 commuter parking lot and food truck court? What's the pleasure of council?
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the commuter parking lot and food truck court.
Second.
There's been a motion that's been made, has been properly second. Any further discussion? If none, all those who are in approval of the commuter parking lot and food truck court, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 8.2, Tiger Street Development. What's the pleasure of council?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the Tiger Street development.
Second.
Motion made, has been properly second. Any discussion? If none, all those who are in approval of this Tiger Street Development, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? We're now on 8.3, Hampton County Salary and Wage Study Proposal. Anyone want to speak on that?
Council, I want to draw your attention to your budget books that you have before you. Page 16.
What page?
16. On page 16, you identify 5 goals throughout your strategic planning session. In those goals, there are about 15 priorities associated with finances in the county. One of those was to fund a wage and salary study. So that's number one, under number one of objectives. This was budgeted for this budget season. The proposal you have before you is a proposal for approval to perform that actual study. It's a 6-month study. The cost to the county is actually less than what we budgeted for, at about $30,000. What this study would do would address many of the questions around the wage and salaries in the county. You got to remember, we have about over 50% of county employees with a salary below the poverty line. So this moves us in the direction of equitable pay and giving you a baseline to understand, to have a solid conversation when we're talking about improving salaries across the county. We did get 1 or 2 other proposals that were significantly more expensive. This is the one that we wanted to present to you for approval and consideration.
With that being said, what's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve Hampton County salary and wage study proposal.
Second.
Motion has been made, has been properly second. Any further discussion? If none, all those who are in approval of the Hampton County salary and wage study proposal, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Now on item number 9, items for discussion, we don't have any. Item 10, resolutions, proclamations. Our first, 10.1 is retirement resolution to acknowledge the retirement of Chief Gregory Cook. I have the resolution here, and if council would join me up front, in front of the desk here, the table, as we ask Mr. Cook to come forward.
Congratulations for your service, sir. Appreciate your work. Yeah, okay. Enjoy retirement, too.
I'm going to read the, yeah, I'm going to read the resolution. A resolution to recognize and honor Mr. Gregory Scott Cook on his retirement from Hampton County Fire Rescue. Whereas the County of Hampton is pleased to acknowledge the exceptional service and dedication of Gregory Scott Cook, who has served the citizens of Hampton County for 39 years as a firefighter. And whereas, known affectionately as Chief Cook, he began his service on November 1st, 1986, and has been a steadfast protector of his community ever since. And whereas, Chief Cook served under the late Maury Eugene Rushing Sr. for 26 years and was appointed Hampton County Fire Chief in 2012, serving in that role for the past 13 years. And whereas, in addition to his fire service, Chief Cook contributed to the Hampton County Coroner's Office and served as an emergency medical technician for 13 years with Hampton County Emergency Services. And whereas, the Hampton County Council wishes to formally recognize and honor Chief Cook for his outstanding contributions, leadership, and unwavering commitment to public safety. Now, therefore be it resolved by the Hampton County Council that the members of the Hampton County Council, by this resolution, recognize and honor Fire Chief Gregory Scott Cook for his outstanding service to the community and congratulate him on his retirement. That a copy of this resolution be presented to Gregory Scott Cook as a token of appreciation and respect. And this is from the members of Hampton County Council: Roy Hollingsworth, Chairman; Darren Williams, Vice Chairman; Joan Jinks, Council Member; Marvin Love, Council Member; Dennis Thompson, Council Member; and this being attested by Clerk to Council, Ms. Teresa Orr. Thank you for your retirement. We're going to miss you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Turn it
Anybody?
around. Greg,
Anybody?
turn it around so you get the picture.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all send him out to the pastor.
Appreciate your
Let him
services, man.
graze.
Appreciate it. You take care, man.
Send him
Enjoy
in
your
the pastor.
retirement, sir. Appreciate it. All right.
Before you all can still stay. Come on back.
Got one more?
We got another one.
Another one?
We have another one. This is a proclamation.
Okay.
Miss Quinette. Queen Quinette.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We haven't forgotten you now. We
Hello.
haven't forgotten you. We haven't forgotten you. Quit. Okay. I'm going to put quit. Quit. Okay. Thank you for the correction. Okay. State of South Carolina, County of Hampton, Gullah Geechee Nation Proclamation. Whereas, Hampton County was founded in 1878. And whereas, as the founding native Gullah Geechees represented in this coastal region and our state, and whereas the Gullah Geechee people have been essential to the cultural fabric of our community, and whereas we have celebrated their contributions by actively participating in Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week since 2015, and whereas 2025 marks St. Helena Island's own chiefess, Queen Quet, 25th anniversary as head Pundibodi of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas Queen Quet has led the movement to protect Gullah Geechee culture, human rights, and land and water rights for over 4 decades, during which she founded the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, and whereas the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition was the first organization in world history to have Gullah Geechee in its name, and whereas the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition continues to forward the mission of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas this marks the 25th anniversary of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and now therefore be it resolved, we hereby proclaim July 26th through August 2nd, 2025 as Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week 2025 in Hampton County and call upon all citizens to participate in celebrating the week in support of the activities happening locally and throughout the region under the theme Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week 2025. And this is signed by Hampton County Council Roy Hollingsworth, Chairman, Darren Williams, Vice Chairman, Joan J. Jinks, Member, Dennis Thompson, Member, and also Marvin J. Love, Member, and being attested by Altrisa Orr, Clerk to Council. So, thank you very much. Always appreciate you coming here every year doing this here. Here you go. So, okay. And I'm sure that Queen Gret has something to say.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
all have a
Hampton
seat.
County one more
Okay.
again. Gladys Padilla
Okay.
with Honeychilla. Yeah, they say y'all had the watermelon fest. Y'all ain't saved me no slice, but I ain't mad. And I know some on Honeychilla, yeah, they just say, well, them days done gone. True. Okay. But I ain't a deal at that time. I've been had to go to another meeting. So it's all said, what you want to do? I said, I still want my proclamation. I coming. Okay. So that's why y'all are hearing this tonight, even though Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week has passed. But we had an outstanding celebration that I'm still recovering from, but no excuses. This county and Beaufort County were joined at one point in time. That's why y'all heard that about them deeds going all the way back and digging in other places to find the records. And we have our Heritage Day celebration coming up in November. I am chairing it again this year on St. Helena Island. So even though you might have missed some celebrating just a while ago in all that heat, hopefully it'll be nice and cool in November and no storm. Praise the Lord and hallelujah. Hold back the hurricanes and hold back the tropical storms this year, Lord. Thank you, amen. So I pray y'all will still come and celebrate with me on St. Helena and whatnot. It ain't gonna be watermelon time then, but we gonna sure have good Motown fish fry this year. So y'all can come on down and get some and all of that. So thank y'all so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate this and
Thank
I
you for everything
appreciate
you
the
do.
work y'all are doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, I'll make sure you're going to get
Historical tradition.
We're now on item number 11, ordinances. 11.1, third reading of ordinances. 11.1A, third reading of revisions to the ordinance for the Hampton County, South Carolina Opioid Recovery Funds Committee. What is the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we approve the third reading of revisions to the ordinance for the Hampton County, South Carolina Opioid Recovery Fund Committee.
Second.
A motion has been made and has been properly second. Any further discussions on this? If none, all those who are in approval of the third reading or revision to the ordinance of the Hampton County, South Carolina Opioid Recovery Funds Committee, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 11.1B, third reading of an ordinance authorizing the settlement of a dispute and the conveyancing of real property located in Hampton County, South Carolina, to the South Carolina School District. What is the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we approve the third reading of an ordinance authorizing the settlement of a dispute and conveyance of real property located in Hampton County, South Carolina, to the Hampton County School District.
Second.
A motion has been made, has been properly second. Any discussion? If none, all those who are in approval of the third reading of an ordinance authorizing the settlement of a dispute and the conveyance of real property located in Hampton County, South Carolina, to the Hampton County School District, show your approval by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain?
Abstain, conflict of interest.
Okay. Let it be noted that Councilman Williams had to abstain due to conflict of interest, dealing with the school district, since he worked for the school district. We're now on item 11.2. We have no second reading of ordinances. 11.3, first reading of ordinances. 11.3A, first reading of an ordinance granting Sparklight an easement to install a high-speed internet services cabinet on county-owned property at 404 Hoover Street under TMS number 119-02-15-003.
Mr. Chair, are we gonna take action now? Because we have that on executive session for discussion.
We have an executive session, but I would like to hear from our deputy administrator on this.
Mr. Chairman, so there were a couple of amendments that were made following the deferred action from the last meeting. Essentially, there are three changes. One is a $1,200 annual payment. Number two was some landscaping around the cabinet. And number three was addressing the county attorney's concerns about abandonment of the site. What would happen if they, stop using it? Make sure they clean it up and get rid of the cabinet. So we did put it on for executive session so that we can discuss, and if a counteroffer is forthcoming, we can discuss that in executive session. You could take action now. You could take action after executive session. It's whatever the pleasure of council is. Those are the three updates since the last time.
Okay. Since it's an item for executive session, also we'll have further discussion in executive session, and when we come out, we will address it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
Representatives from Sparklight are present tonight.
Okay.
In case there's any questions.
Okay. We're down on item 11, on 11.2, second reading of ordinances. I'm sorry, we already gone through that. Okay, we're on item number 12, council briefing. I take my glasses off so I can read instead of seeing. Chairman update. I do want to bring to council's attention, and if you look in your packet, you have where, if you plan on attending the Esther Fall Festival Dignitaries Dinner, which is September the 18th, you need to let our clerk to council know if you plan on attending by this evening, by the end of this evening, if you plan on attending. And also, you should have in your packet the 2025 Elster Fall Festival Parade application. And that parade date is Saturday, September the 20th, and the lineup time is at 9:30 a.m., and the parade starts at 11 a.m., and the location is downtown Esther. So you should have those two items in your packet. I would like to say something about the Hampton County Annual Budget book, fiscal year 2020. It looks real good, and I know that our county administrator will probably have more to say about it later on in his presentation. But I believe, but I just want to say it's a very nice looking publication, and as far as I know of, this is the first time we ever had a publication like this here since I've been on council. So I want to commend you and your team.
And it's available to the public.
Yeah, right, and I'm sure, yeah, it is available to the public, and I'm sure that our county administrator will be speaking more on this here when he gives his presentation. But I just want to just acknowledge I thank you and your team for what you've done. It is a good and well needed, much more needed, and it's something that the public have been requesting in the past. So I'm glad we're able to deliver. With that being said, that's all I have to report from Chairman's update. I'm gonna start on my far right with Councilman Thompson.
I don't have anything tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Williams. Councilman Jinks.
I attended last week. We attended our State Association of Councils conference, and I had the opportunity to talk to the deputy chief of SCDC that's been working with us for the past 10, 12 years on our detention center, Mr. Banfield. Somewhere in 23, we've had a discussion with Jasper Colleton Buford
about a regional. I believe Allendale was invited. Since that time, it fell by the wayside. He then asked me if I would take that bull by the horns again, because that was one of my pet peeves, to find out whether the regional detention center was still possible between the 4 counties, possibly 5 counties. And I want to let my constituents know, since that date I left him till this date, I have talked to 2 members of Beaufort County Council, and from what I'm understanding, they have their own issues with their jail they're trying to deal with, and they're not really concerned about a regional. I have not got full conversation from Jasper County, and I've got a text email back from the chairman of Colleton County, Mr. Scott Baring. He said they are definitely interested in a regional, but it's going to require more than just 2 counties to become a regional. So we need to discuss it. Mr. Banfield said if we don't get something going with the regional really fast, we need to think about ours, take care of ourselves. I've discussed it with Mr. Humans on some avenues of funding that he gave me, and
I'm going to add to what you just said, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Jenks, Councilman Jenks said, let us not forget to include some form of center for mental health. People
Absolutely.
that have those issues, instead of just locking them down with other detention in a detention center, we want to make sure that we can provide some type of mental health services and counseling for those persons that may be involved with something criminal, or they just may have a relapse or something of that nature. But we need to make sure we include that as a part, either as a part of that package of putting together a detention center. And I know that's a discussion we'll have with the other counties that we talked about.
this was a part of the discussion with Beaufort County. Beaufort County probably would be interested if they could figure out how to convert majority of their detention center now over to a mental health center, and it would accommodate us as well, whoever's in that regional.
I know we discussed that with one of the councilmen.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They didn't tell me no, but they didn't give me a good feeling on it. Yes. So
I want to make sure we keep that in mind.
Right.
That we need to serve that population and make sure that they're not included in one, in the criminal side, but that we take care of all of our citizens' needs in the region if we go that region manner. And to me, I think that's the best way for us to go based on the cost analysis and so forth. It'd be better for us to go together to reduce our cost sharing and build a facility that's amenable to the inspectors and so forth, and to the state.
maybe even still get into the conversation with Colleton County on teaming up on a facility somewhere on 68, because they got access to 95 as well as, you know, it's easy for them to get there.
Right.
Naturally, we're gonna all retain our own detention centers for a quick drop-off, but to hold your inmates, if you understand what I'm saying.
And I spoke with, at the conference, I spoke with some, with an engineering firm, architectural firm that deals with designing of these type of facilities. And so there's people are taking that in consideration these days and times. So there's some firms out there that will work with us in doing that, but it's expensive.
I gave him some hidden funds.
We did have a session today in Columbia with federal officials from HUD and transportation, and there were other county administrators there, and we did talk about the situation with detention centers. And the conversation today was with Allendale and Bamberg about potentially partnering, but one piece you need to be aware of that we was dropped from our healthcare provider about a couple weeks ago, meaning we have about 60 days to find service provider to provide nursing and doctoral services for our detention center. All those counties were dropped, actually. So MUSC is potentially going to pick up the tab. We're still working through the conversation, but there are conversations about streamlining that process, and I'll have more to report out at a later date.
Any other update, Councilman Jinks?
That's it, sir.
Okay. 12.3, county attorney's update.
Good to see y'all. I'm sorry I missed the last couple of meetings, but I realize I'm not a doctor. I have to abide by what they do. I sent y'all a report, and it was a little late, about 4 o'clock this afternoon. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Okay. 12.4, clerk's update.
Just a reminder, you have the 10 o'clock home symposium at Lake
And it's from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.?
10 to 2.
Okay. And is it at the Hampton Hall?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Hampton Hall, okay. Lake Warren.
Lake Warren, yeah.
We're now on item number 13, administrative report. 13.1, performance management program implementation overview. I'll turn it over to our county administrator.
Council, before I go into the performance report, I want to turn your attention to the budget book. You know, this is a response to the forensic audit. This is a response to many of the conversations around what the county is doing to move forward. This is the ground floor, meaning this is the beginning of budget books to come. Economic development is not included in this budget book. Some of the debt pieces are not included in this budget book. We're still negotiating the CPTS stuff. We're still working through some of the forensic audit pieces as well. But just wanted to provide this to you as a physical document to have and provide context to the decisions being made in this administration, as well as the decisions you prioritize this administration to focus on, and kind of want to share that to the public. So this is available to the public for public consumption. The other piece that I do want to report out before I go on, any comments about the budget book?
I have a couple of comments. I know that this book is not available to us. When would it be available to the public?
We do have
in
some
its hard copy like this right
We
here.
do have some copies available for public consumption.
It's online too, isn't it?
And it's online as well.
It's online, and also places that this book would probably be where they can pick it up if they want it.
The goal is
just
to
like this.
place them at the counters of where customer foot traffic is going to be, so folks can grab and take and read at their leisure. But it will be made available to the public.
I'm sure that we only got a limited amount
Yes.
of copies, so
Yeah,
so it's first come,
Yes, sir.
first served.
But the PDF will be and live on the county website.
But they can always download it online.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So again, the budget book is your roadmap, is your guide. Somebody comes behind me, asks what we did. This is where we were going. This is what we were doing, right? One of the big issues that I had to figure out coming in. So if you turn the page again to page 16, 5 strategic goals, 15 strategic objectives, and 26 budget actions. That's just specific to finance conversation. There's about 53 objectives that we're working on in the county. This is specific to finance. If you look at number 1, improve the culture of number 1. Number 2, implement a performance evaluation. If you remember this budget season, we put inside the ordinance to stand up a performance evaluation process. This program established a structured, transparent, and consistent approach to evaluate employee performance, fostering professional growth, and aligning individual contributions with county's operations strategic goals. We want to focus on priorities of salary disparities, but we also want to focus on operating in excellence. So the performance evaluation process, you have copies in front of you in your binder. If you flip past the proposal, just past the proposal, you'll see the Hampton County annual employee evaluation. It goes over the self-evaluation, so county staff will have a chance to rate themselves, set their own goals, then sit down with their department heads to talk about their goals, and then get rated at the end of the performance cycle. It's a tool we'll use to measure performance, but most importantly, we want to strive toward excellence in what we do. But this is one of the first steps to getting that done. Consistency, transparency, and talent retention and development. That's the two pieces of the performance evaluation piece. And I'll pause there to see if you have any questions.
90 days, every 90 days.
In terms of evaluation process?
Yes.
This is a yearly evaluation, so at the end of the year, yeah.
What do we do to periodically check it?
Well, we're going to train our staff first on how to do a performance evaluation. It's metrics to look for, things to pay attention to, but it's a process. It's a change in culture of how we do business, but we have to track and hold each other accountable for the work delivery.
Absolutely.
And the work product that we're focused on doing here in the county.
Okay.
I imagine you have something where your department chairs that's over there, the various departments can still do some intervention evaluations with their staff that work under their supervision, right?
Yes, we have PIPs that we're going to be putting in place, performance plans. So if there are some identified needs for coaching in the county, we will work with that employee or that department head to put that in place. That's on page.
Yeah.
The PIP process is before the last sheet. Kind of talks you through the PIP Performance Management Improvement Implementation Program.
Right.
So really focus on driving towards excellence and addressing a lot of the customer service issues that we've documented since I've been in the county to improve upon.
So I think that'll probably answer your question, Mr. Jenks, Councilman Jenks.
Say again?
The PIP he's talking about, I think that'll address the question that you were considering.
Yes, sir.
That, you know, that they would have that opportunity to deal with the people that they directly supervise. And if they have some issues, then they could call it to their attention, give them a written plan for improvement. And then at the end of the year, then you do your annual evaluation.
Yes, sir.
And this goes back to your
Right,
ordinance.
Mr.
Within 90 days of the budget being adopted, we will deliver a performance evaluation plan. The next thing that we're working on is a SIP program that we will bring the overall projects and needs for improvements in the county and a forecast of how we get those things addressed. If no questions around the performance evaluation, Ms. Chanel has some documentation she would actually like to share, and I think that may speak to one of the Mr. Charlie Lafitte's comment earlier.
Yeah. I figured that would answer his question.
Chanel?
Some of it.
What I provided you with are two separate copies of financial reports. So this is coming out of the Springbrook system.
Your system.
Over to this is going to mine. I will say it has not been hiccup free. So there's some things that we're still going through with that. But I gave you two copies of reports. One is the summary form, and one is in the detailed form. You know, your summary form, it has the budget balance on the right and the table. The detailed form has the same thing. You notice it has the 12 specific periods, so you'll be able to see what happens in each period going forward. So that's as of period 1
And like payables are made available online, these documents will also be made available for public consumption as well online. We just need some time to get them posted and get them up. But again, we're implementing a new financial system, which that's going to enhance and put a lot of controls around finances in the county. So it's good to see that this report is being generated because I don't know if you've ever been a part of a system implementation. You know, you can plan, but you better have another plan. So we're working through some hiccups and working through that, and Chanel and the team has been moving it forward.
I have a question. You see, today is what, August the 10th, and so we're receiving July's. So could I safely say somewhere around September the 10th, maybe through the 15th, we'll have August? Right. Okay. I just want, the consistency of making sure that this report is available for the public. Because this is available for the public also, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. So they can go online and put this here? It's not. Oh, okay. Sure. Got you. Okay.
That's all I have, unless Ms. Chanel has something else from administration.
Okay. Ms. Chanel, thank you.
Thank you, Chanel.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Get the hiccups out.
Yeah.
I know they all have, I know all our own finance programs have some hiccups,
Yeah,
you
we're
know.
all trying to work through it.
Yeah,
Okay,
get through it.
we're now on item number 14, executive session. We have actually 3 items. Really, we only have actually two items. 14.1, discussion of county employees contract, county administrator, and also 14.3, discussion of contractual negotiation spotlight. I failed to delete 14.2 in the approval of the agenda. Discussion of negotiation incident to propose contractual arrangements and resolved. Has already been resolved. So, so we will not be actually going into session with 14.2. Discussion of negotiation incident to propose contractual arrangements dealing with the county festival. Since I was the one that actually asked for that to be placed on the agenda. So with that being said, what is the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we go into executive session to discuss 14.1, discussion of employee contract county administrator, and 14.3, discussion of contractual negotiation centered around Sparklight, and to eliminate 14.2, discussion of negotiations incidents to propose contractual arrangements for county festivals.
Second.
A motion has been made and has been properly second. Any further discussions? If none, all those who approve that we go into executive session, so you'll approve by raising your right hand. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? We're now going into executive session. Have a 5-minute recess. 5 minutes.